Hello, guys. Welcome back to Gods on Goal. I am Gods, your host, for another episode in another week. And it's the international break, and there's always nothing or something to talk about, especially in my team. And if you are in the social media, of course, you know exactly what is going on. And I had my previous episode talking about Havertz and Gyökeres who's going to be the better option. Of course, the responses were varied because Havertz has been here for 2 to 3 seasons and he hasn't proven himself. And that is why exactly we needed a striker for our team. So now, when we come back to the main issue that we had in our team, just to recap on what we were talking about, is that we had a problem finishing the chances that we create in front of goal. Because if you think about it, Havertz used to miss chances. Yes, that is good. Okay, that is bad, not necessarily good. It's a bad thing, but he still used to miss chances. Then again, we have Gyökeres, who is back, who is in the team, and he isn't necessarily missing chances or getting enough chances, but he's just there, meeting up with players. When he's supposed to take a shot, he drags the ball further. When he's supposed to take a shot, he gets blocked. When he gets the shot right, definitely will score. So I think it's more of like an adjustment issue, but with time, I guess the final details will be refined. And this conversation goes on with other players. It's not necessarily secluded to Gyökeres and Havertz. For example, the current debate that is going online, for example, is Rice versus Caicedo. And I'm an Arsenal fan. I will definitely be biased towards saying Rice is the better player. Will I have my reasons? I'm not a tactician, but I'll give you stats in terms of goals scored, in terms of tackles made, in terms of bookings, in terms of minutes played, in terms of the amount of how do you call it? The amount of progress that Rice has made ever since he joined us. I can say he's a better player. And also in the Chelsea games, I don't think there's any Chelsea game that Caicedo has won while he's playing and Rice is on the same team. I haven't seen also Caicedo. I think Caicedo scored while at Brighton, if I'm not wrong. If it's not him, it's it's a different player against Arsenal. But yeah, Rice is a good player, very good player. Caicedo is also a good player, but not to my preference, not to my liking, not someone that I drop the money on. And at some point, I think it was last season or the previous season, we were linked to him in the general transfer move. Even we were linked to the Mudwick. We wanted to pay like 80 million, but Brighton were like, nah, give us 100 and something. Liverpool actually placed a bid. It was accepted. Caicedo rejected them. And then Chelsea, eventually overspent on him. I think they overspent. I still think they overspent. That is a lot of money to have for a player. I don't see why that was necessary to, how much money it was necessary to pay. But I still think it was bad business. Bad business, all in all. But who am I to say? I'm just a football commentator. But yes, these kinds of, comparisons happens to Saka a lot, happens to Martinelli, happens to Timber, our fullback, who they call him our centre back. You have Gabriel and Saliba. They make comparisons, with Van Dijk and other players. I mean, I don't know when too much is too much, but uh, I don't think it is fair to the players to be compared in that manner because they are all professional athletes. They all put in the work. Of course, they are paid handsomely. They're treated in different hospitals. They have to stay fit. It is their profession. They have to perform. They have to get, because how it looks, it's like these players are supposed to give out 10 out of 10 performance each and every week. I don't even know how that is possible. I don't even know how that is doable. But they have to find a way to perform each and every, and I mean each and every week, week out, they have to perform, and they're doing their job. If you look at where you're working, or if you're working for someone, or if you have your own business, of course you have your own codes. So codes of work, codes of ethic, the things that you have to do you're expected to do for your employer, that you can be able to play. Yes, as professional footballers, I think they know once they wake up how they are eating, how they'll be training, what they're supposed to do, how much money they are going to spend. Do they have how much free time they have? Do they have sponsorship here and there? I mean, there's a lot that is happening in players' lives. We don't even know like half of it. But one day they just wake up and told, oh, you are the best player in your position, or rather, you are the best player as compared to this other player from another team who's playing in a different system with a different coach. Of course, there are players who can fit in most, if not all, teams. For example, take a player like Bukayo Saka from our team. Apart from maybe Liverpool, I think he starts for practically every single Premier League team. He starts for Chelsea or Vaneto or anyone else who's there. At Man City, he starts for Savinho or anyone else who's there. Come to where? Liverpool, maybe he gets dropped for Salah, but yeah, that is the only team. If you come to Manchester United, of course he gets Mbeumo in the bench or whoever other winger is there. When you go to Everton, when you go to Crystal Palace, when you go to Fulham, when you go to Bournemouth, I mean, there are certain players like that, you know. Take a player, for example, like in the Man City team, take up a player like Rodri. Rodri can be able to start in any team. He can even start at Arsenal. I feel he's also better than Jan Rice because of his achievements and things he has done for the game, and especially winning the Ballon d'Or. But basically, he can start for every single team in the league. Those are quality players. Same case goes to Rice. He can start for majority, if not all, the Premier League teams that exist. That is the mark or a sign of a world-class player, say the least. And if you're in a club or if you support a certain team, of course, your players are always better than the other players because you watch them week in, week out, you know their strength, you know their weaknesses, you know where they excel, you know what they've done for the club, you know what they mean when they play for the badge. It is also important to understand that not all professional players make it. They make it to some lower league teams. They go and, they thrive. For example, let me use a player like Grealish for Man City. He was an Aston Villa player. He was doing very, very well. He was getting world-class shots. And he got sold for 100 million to Man City. Now, put that into perspective. He was performing at that point, Aston Villa wasn't a really, really, competitive team, but they were there on and about, they were doing their thing. When he moved to Man City, we expected him to go a level higher, but he did not. Well, they say he was crucial in their treble winning season by scoring two or three goals here and there, but he did not really light up the world while he was there. And then he was on and off injured, he was on and off the bench. Came up with some clutch goals during the title run season. I remember he scored against us at the Emirates. Well, yeah, I think it was their treble winning season. And then when you come to now, he was eventually sold because he didn't fit the system. The only team that could actually, afford him or rather take him was Everton. And he's been doing good. He has like 1 goal, 4 assists, and 4 assists. So, yes, these players in your eyes and in your team, they are the best. They are the world-class players that exists in that, box of your team. But if you put that player in any other team, do you think any other team in the world, let's say for example, do you have like these world-class players that that can fit in any team? I'll use example like Haaland because he's one of the best strikers currently. Haaland can be able to fit in any team right now as it stands. And how he has proven over the past 3 seasons that he is a pure goal scorer. He's a guy that can come in clutch when you need it. I mean, we don't get so much play. There's nobody saying that Haaland is a worse striker because he can't be compared with anyone else because he's putting in the numbers, he's putting in the work, you know. And then that comes to the main case with Rice and Caicedo. We have watched Rice, coming with clutch goals, winning moments. His first goal against Manchester United at the Emirates, that was important. His goal against Luton, his two free kicks at Real Madrid. Yes, rival fans will tell you that, oh, you do not need to celebrate the Clan Rice goals. You do not need to celebrate, you need to celebrate trophies. And come on, we are supposed to celebrate whatever is in front of us. The trophies will eventually come, I hope so. But in the moment, I am happy with whatever I'm receiving from Rice, and I still feel like there's no other better player than him in his position currently, and he's doing, he attacks well, he defends well, he can link up with players, he can cross the ball. He's a good corner kick taker. Like, how many players do you know are good at corner kicks? Let me just name them. At least an answer I can name two. That is Declan Rice and Saka. Those are good with set pieces. Now, when we've added free kicks to our team, we've just discovered Declan Rice can score. Then we've added Eze to the team. I think also Bukayo Saka scored a free kick against PSG last season. You know, bro, these players, they work their socks off. You know, and also depending on the environment that they are playing at the moment will bring a better what, a better feeling or a better improvement in their game and what they offer to the team. So yes, world class players are defined by what they bring to the team and how they perform and when they perform and how consistently they do it, and if they are also available, and I mean available injury free, they are coming in when they are needed, then I don't think this is a really big problem to panic about, at saying this player is better than this one is nah. That's not a whole lot of nonsense. And yes, these discussions will never end. These discussions will be there. But remember, as an Arsenal fan, you should not be gaslit to be told that your player is not better than the other. Or if you had a certain player, maybe you might win the league. Why didn't they win the league with that certain player? That is a question you should be asking yourself. Like, what what do you gain by comparing other players from other teams? It's better to compare them from your team because they are competing in the same team, and they're also competing to make a difference in the same team. So if they push each other from there, that is okay. But a player across London or across another continent in general, I mean, what is there to compare about? And even if they meet on the pitch, we will actually see, we know how this ends. We know who is the better player according to the other. So yes, those are the discussions that are currently going online, and I'm viewing them. I have my own views. I think I've shared them extensively, and I'll continue sharing my opinions on who I think is the best player in our team and who I think will perform better in our team. That is, I think that should be the next podcast. Like, which players are we going to depend on, and who are going to bring us results? Those are the things that you can be able to touch upon. So again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to the channel. Remember, this is Goats on Goal. I will see you next time on the next episode. So, cheers.